Good morning, student. Welcome to the first lecture of unit number 4, that is IO organization. So let's start with the accessing IO devices. Now we know that how instructions are executed, how input and output devices are communicated with each other, how processor executes the data coming from input device, and how processor forwards data to output devices. In second unit also we have seen that when processor wants to communicate with the input and output devices, there is a data in and data out register, which act as a buffer register. Okay, so this concept we will see again in detail in this topic. So let's start with the accessing IO devices. So this is a simple arrangement to connect IO devices to a computer is to use a single bus arrangement as shown in this figure. This processor, memory and number of IO devices are connected with each other by using a single bus. Okay, so this bus enables all the devices connected to it to exchange information. So typically this bus consists of three sets of line. Which are those? First one is address line to carry addresses, second data line to carry data, and third one is the control signal which manage all the activities on the bus. So each IO devices is assigned a unique set of addresses. Each and every IO device and output device has a unique set of address. Okay, so all devices are connected to a single bus, and there are three ways that a bus can be used by the processor to communicate with the memory and to communicate with the input and output devices. Now, which are those three ways? First one is that use two separate buses, one for memory and other for input output device. This is called as input output processor, that is IOP. Second way is that use one common bus for both the memory and input output devices, but have a separate control line for each. This is called as isolated IO method. Okay, if we are using two separate buses, one bus for memory and one dedicated bus for input output device, then that time that bus is called as input output processor. Okay, and if we use one common bus both for the memory and input output devices but having separate control lines, that time it is called as isolated IO method. And third way is that use one common bus for memory and input output with common control lines called as memory mapped IO. Okay, now we have a complete separate concept what is memory mapped IO and what is IO mapped IO. That time we will see in detail, but now just understood that if we use one common bus for memory and input output devices with common control lines, that time this method is called as memory mapped IO. Okay, so when the processor places a particular address on the address line, the device that recognizes this address responds to the command issued on the control line. It means that for example, here is first IO device is connected to this bus is printer and another IO device is connected is the scanner. Okay, now for example, a processor places a particular address on the address line. For example, processor wants to print first 5 pages. Okay, so processor place address of a printer, address of that particular port to which printer is connected. Okay, so when processor places that particular address on the address line, the device, that means the printer recognize that this address responds to me. Okay, this address associated with me. So that time this printer recognizes this address and then printer respond to that command issued on the control lines. And if that address is not matches with the printer, so it will not going to print that pages. Sometimes it happens that there are one or more printer devices added in your system. So when you give a print command, there is an option that select printer. Okay, copy one laser printer or only laser printer. And if your default printer is copy one laser printer and you have given command to laser one printer, so that time it will not going to print your pages because the address that processor placed on the address line is not associated with that particular printer. Okay, so unless printer recognize that address, he will not going to print your pages. So this how working is happen by using a single bus when processor, memory, and all devices are connected to a single bus. So the processor request either a read or write operation, and the requested data are transferred over the data lines. Now we know that address lines are only used to carry addresses, data lines are only used to carry data. There we use memory data register, and for address line we use memory address register. So working of both the lines are different. Okay, and when IO devices and memory share the same address space, the arrangement is called as memory mapped IO. And when the IO devices and memory share the different memory space, that time that arrangement is called as IO mapped IO. Okay. Now, with memory mapped IO, any machine instruction that can access memory can be used to transfer data to or from an IO device. For example, if data in is the address of the input buffer associated with the keyboard. For example, you want to press some keys on your keyboard. So data in is a buffer register associated with your keyboard. So whenever you press key on your keyboard, that particular character is stored on your buffer register. That is data in. Now we know that how this data in and data out works. Okay. So when data is available in data in is set to 1, and when data is set to 1, processor knows that now processor can read the data from data in. That's how data in works. So let's consider if data in is the address of the input buffer associated with the keyboard, the instruction data in comma R0 reads the data from reading and stored them into processor register R0. Now processor reads the data from data in and stored that data into processor register R0. Okay. Now similarly, the instruction move R0 comma data out. Now for example, you have given some command to the processor from input device. Now the data from input device is stored into buffer register data in. Now the data from data in is transferred to the processor register R0. Okay, this is how this is complete read operation that processor performs. Now processor wants to perform write operation. Now what processor will do? The data is to data in register R0. Processor wants to write that data to output device, or processor wants to send that data to output device. So to send that data to output device, processor will use data out buffer register. That means the data from R0 is transferred to the buffer register data out. Okay, which may be the output data buffer for a display unit. Okay, or a printer. For example, you want to display something on your monitor. So first of all, it was stored in a data in input buffer register. From input buffer register, it will transfer to the processor register, and then processor transfer that to the output unit or display unit. Okay, by using data out buffer register. Now next, look at this diagram. There is a hardware required to connect an IO devices to the bus. So in this diagram, there are three lines. First one is the address line, data line, and control line. There is an address decoder, control circuit, data and status register, which is commonly called as IO interface. And these all connected with the input device. Okay. Now first starts with the address decoder. Now what is address decoder? Now this address decoder enables the device to know its address. So when this address appears on the address line, okay, this enables the devices to know its address when this address appears on address line. Only when that particular device able to recognize the address associated with it. So the address decoder, this data and status register and the control circuitry required to coordinate with the IO transfer, required to coordinate with the IO transfers, which constitute the device interface circuit. These three constitutes a device interface circuit. Then next one we have data register. So the data register holds the data being transferred to or from the processor. Now we know that this, if we want to get data from memory, if we want to write data into memory from processor, that time we use data register, that is MDR, memory data register. Sometimes it is also called as MBR, that is memory buffer register. So here the data register holds the data being transferred to or from the processor. Then next we have status register. With the data we have status register. So the status register contains information relevant to the operation of the IO devices. Now which are the status registers? For input and output devices we use data in and data out status register. When data in is set to 1, it means that processor can read the data. If data out is set to 1, it means that a processor is it means that data is available on the data lines and now it is ready to go to the output devices. So both the data and status registers are connected to the data bus and assign unique addresses. So the IO devices operate at the speed that are very much different from that of the processor. Speed of the IO devices and speed of the processor are very much different. But when human operator is entering a character by using keyboard, the processor is capable of executing millions of instructions between successive character entries. Within a second, we can press number of keys and processor is able to transfer that millions of instructions. So an instruction that reads a character from the keyboard should be executed only when character is available in the input buffer of the keyboard interface. So this is all about the accessing IO devices. Now let's understand it by using one example. So registers in keyboard and display interface. So to review the basic concept, let us consider a simple example of IO operations involving keyboard and display devices in a computer system. So now there are 4 registers shown in this figure: data in, data out, status register, and control register. Okay, so register status contains 2 control flags. First one is S in and S out, which provides status information about the keyboard and the display unit. So S in shows the status about the keyboard and S out shows the status about the display unit, that means output device. Then there are 2 flags KIRQ and DIRQ in this register are used in conjunction with the interrupts. These are the interrupt flag registers. So data from the keyboard are made available in the data in register and data sent to the display and stored in the data out register. Okay. So as each character is read, it is echoed back to the display register, and register R0 is used as a pointer to the memory buffer area. Whenever we read the data from data in, we use R0 general purpose register of the processor to get that data or to read that particular data. So this is about the basic concept of accessing IO devices.